morning, friends. How are you? It's great to see you all. Hi, Kathy P. from Pennsylvania. Hi, Anne. Anne, can't believe she's here on time. So welcome, Anne. It's great to see you. Hi, Roz. Lovely to see you too. Nice to meet you. Today, we are going to be doing some Zentangling. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to be back in my studio. So before we start, my name is Ali Manning. This channel is Vintage Page Designs, and we talk about all things handmade books, handmade journals, and what to put inside your journal. And that's what we're talking about today, what to put inside your journal, which today is going to be a Zentangle pattern. So we did a live Zentangle session late last year. I've linked to that in the description box below if you want to watch that. And it was popular and you asked for more, so that's what I'm giving you. I'll try and do them once a month if we can fit it into our schedule. There's a new video every Thursday at noon Eastern, sometimes live, sometimes pre-recorded. Hi, Tony. Hi, Sally. Tony. Hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. It's so great to have you here live. All right, I am going to flip my camera down. Also, just a quick mention, I'm not going to go into the background of Zentangle or sort of my journey to Zentangle again. That is in the previous video. So like I said, that is linked below if you want to watch it afterwards. Just gives you a little bit of background on how I came to Zentangle and about Zentangle. And there's also some information in the description box below to go to the official Zentangle website if you would like to check out more about it. Okay, give me 1 second. No, that's not what we... There we go. All right. Okay. I can see, so I would just like to say thank you to Amber and Mickey who are here today, and I can see them giggling. So hopefully all is good. Hopefully you can hear and see me okay. Either of them will let me know if you can't, but this is the pattern we're going to be doing today. So it is called W2, which stands for warp and weft. So warp, weft, W2. It's one of the official Zentangle patterns from Zentangle.com, the organization run by Rick and Maria. And it's one of my favorites. So what I'm going to do today is show you the very, very basic way of doing it. And I'm going to kind of teach you using my method. And then I'm going to give you some variations. If you would like to play along with me, a plain piece of paper or some of this dot grid paper is really helpful. You may be wondering why I'm using a purchased book. When I was away for 3 weeks in my studio, my other book got filled up, so I had to go and buy one. And I kind of like this one, actually. It's one of those decomposition books. So either grid or plain paper. You'll need a black pen. I'm going to be using this Pilot V7, which is my favorite. You can also use a Micron 01 or a Micron PN. You might like the PN if, like me, you're heavy-handed. It has a plastic nib, and I find I damage this fine nib quite easily because I'm a bit heavy-handed. But today I'm going to use this Pilot V7. The only thing about this is it's not waterproof, but I don't intend to do anything water-based with this, so it's fine. I'm also going to use a plain pencil. I believe this is HB, just a regular pencil, and also a blending stump. Of course, here we go again, folks, searching for, oh, here it is. I'm using one of these blending stumps. It's a paper blending stump, also called a tortillon. And if you're looking for them in art supply stores, you'll often find them with colored pencils, like the Prisma colored pencils. And that's pretty much it. You may want a thicker black marker, maybe, but you won't need an eraser. Well, you may need an eraser, but those are the basic tools we're going to need. So I'm going to show you how to do this pattern 4 times. So if you want to play along, that's absolutely fine. But if you don't get it the first time, like I said, I'm going to do it 4 times. Let me show you. I'm going to show you 4 different ways. Look at this. I've got it all organized. First of all, I'm going to show you the basic pattern, which is this little woven pattern. It's like ribbons woven together. Ribbons woven together. That's why it's called warp and weft, or W2. Then I'll show you a version with shading, just like this. Then I'm going to show you one with some stripes, and then I'm going to show you another one when it's colored in. So I'm going to do this 4 times for you. And I'm also going to show you, give you a peek inside my journals as well, a little peek inside my journals to show you how I use Zentangle in my journals. So get comfy, folks, and we're going to start by doing W2, or warp and weft. W2, or warp and weft. So I'll try and keep this straight, but I might have to be on an angle. So the way we're going to do warp and weft is I'm going to do a large version first, so it's easier for you to understand the pattern, and then we will go down to like a smaller version like that. But let's start out with a large version. And if you're working on plain paper, it's not a problem. You can just freehand draw it. It's really not a big deal. Or you can draw some grid lines in pencil if you want to. But remember, this is your journal. You're just practicing. What we're going to do is draw these little black squares. Remember, I'm doing this 4 times, so if you don't get it the first time, you're okay. So I'm going to start out by doing a little black square on one of my dots. I'm going to count down 1, 2 dots, and then on the 4th one, do another black square like that. And I'm going to do 5 of those. I'm colouring them in as I do them. The important thing is you want an odd number. So if you're working along with me, let's do 5 this way, and then we're going to do 5 across the top. And if you're doing it freehand on you could do it on graph paper as well if you wanted to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The important thing is that you have an odd number of these dots, okay? We're going to be doing it in a square. When you get comfortable doing the pattern, you could do a long one, a rectangular one, you could even do it in the round, but for now we're just going to do this square. Now let's fill in the rest of our little squares. And feel free to add your questions into the chat. We are making a note of them, and then we will pop them up at the end and I will answer them for you. So don't feel like your questions are being ignored. We will get to them at the end, I promise. So do you see? I'm filling in this grid of 5 by 5 little squares. Okay, they're not super neat, they're just black squares like that. So it's 25 in total. Now, what we need to do is join these squares with vertical lines. And what we need to remember is we're going to go on one side of the squares and then on the other. So we're going to go to the left side of that square, then we're going to go to the right side, the left side and then the right side, and then go back up to the top and do the same. What you need to remember is this first one, we're going to start on the left side and then alternate going down. This one here will start on the right side, this one here on the left, this one here on the right, this on the left. This will make sense in a minute. Then what we do is we turn it 90 degrees to the left or anti-clockwise and do the same again. Start on the left, then start on the right. Start on the left, start on the right, start on the left. This will all make sense. And remember, I'm doing it 4 times, so you'll get it. So I have my pen, and I'm going to join these 2 squares together on the left side of those little boxes like that. Left. Then I switch over to the right, so I'm alternating right. That's what's going to give us this woven look by alternating. I go left, then I go right. Then I climb all the way back up to the top. Now with this row here, we start on the right side. So let's start to the right of the squares, then go to the left, to the right, to the left. Come to the bottom, let's go back all the way to the top. We're going to start on the left. So left side of the boxes, right side of the boxes. Left side, right side. Finished, go back up to the top, start on the right side, So when you're first starting, you can put the L and the R at the top, but obviously as you get used to it, you don't have to. Right, we reach the bottom, back up to the top, start on the left. So it's like marching boots. We're like the army, left, right, left, right, left, right. There we go. So now I've joined them all up with those vertical lines going in left, right, different directions. Now I'm going to turn to the left or anti-clockwise 90 degrees. So it's like this. And we're going to do vertical lines again from the top to the bottom. Now it's important to remember that you have an odd number so that this left, right pattern works. So when I say odd number, you could have 7, you could have 9, you could have 3 is a bit small. So I would do minimum of 5, but you could do 5, 7, 9, however much you wanted. So let's start at the top. It's telling me here that I start on the left and I'm going to join those 2 boxes together. Over to the other side, go to the right, go to the left, go to the right. Back up to the top, it's telling me to start on the right. Right, left, right, left. Back up to the top. This one I started on the right, so this one here I'll start on the left. Left, right, left, right. Back up to the top. Right, left, right, left. This left, right won't work though if you've done an even number of these black squares. So left, left, right, left, right. There we have a little warp and weft. So you can see we have this ribbon here. I could extend that along a little bit if I wanted to. Here's this ribbon here. This is part of the ribbon and I can extend it. Here's another ribbon. So you can kind of extend the little ribbons if you want to as well. Like that. So there is the first one, and I've made it large purposely. And let me, if you're having a hard time seeing your ribbons, let me just quickly show you what they look like. Here is, let's do the horizontal ribbons. So here it is. I'm just coloring it in so you can see it. And it goes underneath that ribbon on top. So this is the one on top. This is one on the bottom. Here's the one on the bottom. So by just shading it in with a pencil, you might be able to see it a little bit more clearly. Hopefully you can see that. This is just to illustrate what it should look like. Here we go. Here's our little ribbons going across, and then here it is on the bottom row. We could extend that out if we wanted to a little bit. Right there. So that is your basic warp and weft, your little ribbons. I'm going to do it a second time, and I'm going to do it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to show you how to add some shading. Show this how to do some shading to give it a 3D look. Okay, so I'm just going to go to a different, no, I won't go to a different page, I'll just go underneath. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Start out with one little square, and now I'm going to make them a bit closer together. I'm only going to leave one dot there and put another one, but I'm always going to do 5 or 7. So this one's going to be a bit smaller, you can see. So 5 by 5. Once you have mastered this pattern, you can definitely make it your own, and I'm going to show you some different ways to do that in a minute. Setting up the little pattern like this can be a bit tedious, but I find it really relaxing, and hence the name Zentangle. Okay, so there we have our little grid. I'm going to write in the left, right again. So left, right, left, right, left. Turn 90 degrees, left, right, left. After a while, you won't obviously need to do that, but it's good to know at the beginning. So remember, top to bottom, starting on the left side, going to the right side, over to the left, over to the right, joining up our little black boxes. Back to the top, start on the right side, over to the left, to the right, to the left. Back up to the top, to the left, join the boxes on the right side, join the boxes on the left side, join them on the right side. Back up to the top, right, left, right, left. Up to the top, left, right, left, right. Turn it around. Sorry about my hand in the way. Starting on the left, joining our boxes together. Join the boxes on the right with a vertical line, left and right. Join on the right, on the left, on the right, on the left. Next row, left, right, right. And then we have a smaller version. And hopefully you can see now how these ribbons are weaving into one another. So what we're going to do now is take a pencil and we're going to shade at the points. So if you want to look at this original one where we had this top ribbon, so it goes over, under, over, under. Where it goes underneath is where we're going to add some shading. So this top one here goes underneath. I'm just going to add in these little extra lines so that we can see where our ribbon is going over and under. I'm working with this horizontal ribbon right here. It's over, now it's going under this ribbon here, so we add a little shade in and just use the edge of your pencil, you don't need to use the tip. It's going under and it's coming out right there. Gonna add some shading there. Then it goes under right here and it comes out here. Let's go to the row below. It's going underneath that top ribbon right there. Let's go to the third row. It's going under the ribbon right there. Go to the fourth row. Add shading where it's going underneath the ribbons. And then let's go in with a blending stump. Make sure this is the right one. No, I think it's this one. And then I'm just going to do little circles, bringing it from the edge to the center to add a little shading. And that emphasizes the fact that this top ribbon is going underneath. This ribbon here is going underneath this vertical ribbon here. This is completely optional, but it does add a nice little three-dimensional element to it. Just going in like little circles and kind of blending it, like fading it out towards the center. Like that. Normally I'd spend a little bit of time doing this, but I just want you to get the idea. Then what we can do is turn it again like we did before and do the same. Let's work with these horizontal ribbons again. We can add shading right here where it goes over and under. And if you're just joining us, welcome. I'm glad you're here. If you have questions, pop them in the chat and I will answer them all at the end. I have Amber and Mickey here helping me out with the questions. And just blend it in where it goes underneath that top ribbon. Now this step is optional, you don't have to do it, but it certainly adds a little something. And I'm just pulling from that edge towards the center and fading it out with a blending stump. As I mentioned earlier, you can find these in art supply stores, often with colored pencils, like the Prisma colored pencil section. Okay, so there is a little bit of shading. You probably would spend a bit more time blending it, but so to get the idea. So that gives you a 3D effect. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you, so the third time I'm going to show you is you can add these really cute little stripes. And I think I'll probably just do that right on top of here. Will I? Maybe I'll show you one more time. Oh, that's a good tip, a Q-tip. Very nice. Let me do this one. Shall I do it one more time? How are we doing for time? Let's see. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll add the stripes in here. What you can do is add, so here are my horizontal ribbons. Here are my vertical ribbons. You can add in stripes on either side of your ribbons, which can look really good. You can do it in one direction or in the other. I'm just going to do mine in the vertical direction, but you could do them in both directions, just like that. Yeah. Here are my little stripes. So there we have, and if you wanted to, you could flip this around and do them the other direction as well. So that's just a way to jazz things up. Let me show you another way if you want to add some color, well, some black, but you could also add some different colors as well. So let's do this one more time. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do a small one again. You can do a big one and you can do rectangles. It doesn't have to be a square, but if you want to follow the left-right pattern, you've got to do an odd number. Okay, let's do this now so that we have some big black squares. So should we put the left and the right here just so you remember? Hold on. Don't have an eraser. That's right, that's left. Flip it around, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, let's do it one more time. I just saw the black pen that I'm a question. This is the V7. It's a Pilot V7. Most folks use microns. I just happen to be a fan of this V7. You can get a V5 as well, which is a bit thinner. But to show on camera, the V7 is better because it's a bit thicker. So remember, we're joining these boxes. I haven't colored them in. I'm just going to leave them white for now. Left, right, left, right. To the top, right, left. Up to the top. Start on the left. Oops. So that one's on the left, so this one will be on the right. If you lose track, you can check. So this is left, this is right, this is left, this is right. So this one must be on the left. And see, these aren't straight lines necessarily. And once you get used to doing it, you could do like wavy lines to join these together. They don't have to be straight lines. Flip it around 90 degrees. Let's do the marching, left, right, left, right. See, they're not straight lines, but it's kind of kooky. Right, left. Okay. And then I'm going to color in every other square black with a marker. And then add in some white shading. It's getting a little messy now, isn't it? I'm just going to use, I just happen to have this on my desk. It's probably not the best pen to use, but that's okay. All right, so it doesn't really matter where I start. Let's start this top corner. I'm gonna be a little bit messy. Doing every other one black. like this. And what's useful for this is either a white gel pen or a white charcoal pencil. And I would normally take a little more time making this neat. Are you thinking, this looks like a bit of a hot mess? What's she thinking? Well, we're going to transform it with some shading and some white pen. See, that looks pretty darn messy, right? We're going with some charcoal and grey and white. It's going to look fabulous. So if we look over here to this one, we put our shading right here. It goes over and under. So I'm just going to repeat that right here. Going to do this roughly. So I put in my grey shading where it goes over and under. You still might be thinking, I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. Let's put these like this. You could do a little more shading right here. This one comes out here. This one comes out here, bit of shading here. It's looking a little more, and I would spend a bit more time blending your charcoal. And what we're going to do is either get a gel pen or one of these white charcoal pens. We're going to go, and we're going to use the side of it. You're not going to use the tip. You're going to go across like that. And it's going to seem as if the light is hitting the top of this. It's going to give it almost like a rounded effect. Adding this white charcoal. Now you can go in with a new blending stump. Mine have got grey on them, so I'm not going to. Just going to go in with the side and blend that very slightly. You can see just by adding in that white charcoal across the top. Sorry, I moved out the camera frame. I got a little involved with my shading, but just by going across here, across the middle, just in the center, it gives the sense of it being sort of rounded like that. All right. And then what else did I want to show you? So I've only shown you 3 times, but I feel like you probably are gonna kind of understand how to do it. What I want to show you is a couple other things that you can do with this. So I really like working on vintage papers. So don't feel like once you've mastered this in your sketchbook, then you can use it in your journals however you would like to. Now you can just do it like straight like this in your journal, because quite honestly, that's pretty fun. Let me find the page. You can just like spend hours just playing with this like this in your journal. Here's another one where the little barrel is going in a different direction. But what I wanted to say also is you have some real estate here. These big squares, now you could put anything in them that you wanted to. So you could go in and do circles inside them. You could do some diagonal lines like this inside those squares. You could put all sorts of different shapes and like fragments of shapes inside each of those squares. Like the world's your oyster in terms of what then goes inside those ribbons. So you could go crazy, and you don't need to stick with black and white. You could go with color too. Let me show you some other things in my other journal, which you might enjoy. Let me see if I can just get the right page. So I really like doing watercolor squares and filling them with different patterns. So here is warp and weft here. And you can see my lines. So when you have something that isn't a grid, if you don't have, the dot grid paper, what you can do is go in with a pencil. If I could find a pencil. We were literally just talking earlier about how to organize our table, our workspace, so that we don't lose things. So say you have a square like this, or even a piece of vintage paper like this, what you can do is you can draw in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can draw in a grid like this in light pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go across like this. Oh, yeah, we are in the frame. Do 5 by 5, and then at the intersection of the pencil lines, you can do your little squares and then carry on as we did before. And that's what I did right here. But you can see it's kind of fun because they don't go in a straight line. So the ribbons are kind of sort of a bit wavy. And then because this isn't in black and white, you can go in with colored pencils and do the shading. And so instead of using gray charcoal, you can go in with colored pencils. And I also, in the middle, instead of doing the white charcoal, I did some yellow to kind of highlight the middle part. So lots of options with this kind of thing. I also really like doing circles. So I do lots and lots of circles with patterns in them. So like this. So this would be really fun too. And you do the same thing. You would just draw with a pencil some light grid lines and then do warp and weft or whichever other Zentangle pattern you fancied. Let me give you also, here's an example. This isn't warp and weft, but this is an example of some Zentangle in a circle. So it looks pretty much like a mandala on some vintage paper. And I really like working with old maps because they actually have built-in grids. So this is an old Ordnance Survey map from the UK. This isn't warp and weft, this is a different one, which I'm still kind of halfway through doing. I haven't finished it yet. It's still half filled in. But it comes in with these built-in little squares, which is really fun. So that's also a, I don't know, I think it's fun. So yeah, and then I think what I'll probably do is I really like doing these sort of large, oops, hold on, you can't really see. Let me just come out a little bit. I really love doing these full pages of Zentangle patterns. This is an 8x8 book, so I will try and pop in warp and weft somewhere in here. So in some of these larger pages. So there we are. That is warp and weft. Let me just go back to the page that we just did. Looks a little bit messy. It's the page we just did. And I am going to come back on screen and answer all of your questions. All right, hang on. Let me just get rid of this. So someone, I think Mickey said, quiet group today, seems like everyone was tangling along. All right, so are there, oh dear, goodness, there was private chat. Yes, sorry, I'm off camera. Sorry, folks. I got so into doing it, I was off camera. All right, any questions for me, Amber? Where can you purchase a grid book? Well, you can print your own, these little dot grids, but you can get them from Moleskine. If you want to make your own journal, you can print your own. This is this one here. I got at the airport because I literally ran out, but you can get these from a lot of bookshops. I think I got it at an airport bookshop. So bookshops often sell these, but Moleskine I think is the most popular, or just Staples. Any of the big office supply stores will do it. Great question. What else? Any others? Nope, just the one. Oh, Colleen, she missed the beginning. Do your lines connecting the squares have a very slight curve to them? It's just a variation, probably because I was doing it on camera, it looked like it had a slight curve. You can do straight or curved. I think when I showed you the one in the watercolor box, this one right, oh, no, this one right here, that had a slight curve to it. The other ones I did probably straighter. But yeah, this one right here, for example, is pretty straight. So it's up to you, but do not use a ruler. Do it freehand. Can we do shading in ink? I don't see why not. You could do the shading in ink. You'd have to kind of, it would be kind of tricky though. You'd have to, because you want to blend outwards. So you want kind of dark and then kind of blended outwards. So you might need to use some water. So you could, I think it might be quite difficult. Personally, I'd stick with a pencil. Any other questions? I get confused as what shade. Yeah, I get it. And the shading can be difficult. Let me just show you one more time a different way to do it. Let me add this to the screen. Hang on. Let me just explain it one more time in a different way. So when you do shading, like for the ribbons, so we have this long ribbon. Oops, long ribbon like this. Then we have another one coming in this direction. So obviously this is supersized, right? Where you're going to shade is where this horizontal ribbon disappears underneath the vertical ribbon. So down here on this side to the right of the line and then to the left of the line. That makes sense. So it's where it's disappearing underneath. So if we had one going a different way, so say we had one going this way, then I had a ribbon coming vertically underneath. Oops, sorry, I beg your pardon. I keep going underneath there. This one here, we've got this horizontal, and then we've got this vertical ribbon coming underneath. It's where this vertical ribbon dips underneath the ribbon on top. That is where you shade. Hopefully that makes sense. So this one here, the vertical ribbon's on top, horizontal one is going underneath it. So you do it on either side of the ribbon on top. And here it's the other way around. The horizontal's on top and the vertical is going underneath. Shading right there and shading right there. But the shading goes on the ribbon that's going underneath. The shading doesn't go on the ribbon that's on top. Hopefully that helps. Highways and underpasses. Yes, Melissa, it's exactly right. It's like a road. It's like a spaghetti junction. So this is the highway going underneath. This is the main highway. This is like the underpass. And this one here is the underpass. All right, let me just take that out. Any other questions? What's the weight of your pens for shading? I believe it's HB. I think it's HB or it might be B. Doesn't actually say if this is a Zentangle pencil, but HB or just 1B would be fine. What else? Are you going to provide a class for the advanced Zentangle? Probably not. No, so I'm just grabbing my water. Probably no, I'm not going to do an advanced. I'm going to stick with simple Zentangle for now because there are lots of teachers out there doing really cool advanced things. One of my favorite teachers is Nancy Dawes. And I teach tangling.com. She has some great Zentangle classes on there. So I would go there if you're looking for advanced Zentangling. I'm going to stick with the basics for now. What else? Anything else before I head out? We're all done. Excellent. Oh, I just want to give this, Jeanette says Rhodia pads come in dot grid. Love Rhodia pads. Their paper is so nice. It's like, sounds like silky smooth. It's really nice. Great tip, Jeanette. I really like that. And I love this. Heather says, we've been without power due to a snowstorm, so Zentangles are a great way to pass the time. I couldn't agree more, Heather. That's excellent. I love it. Let's see. How long have I been doing this? I have been doing it. I've only been a Zentangle teacher for about 6 months, but I've been doing it since 2010, on and off. But I really picked up again in 2020 during the pandemic, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since. So, but yeah, I've been doing it for a while, but it's the kind of thing you can pick up and leave and pick up. But what I love about it is that, you know, I was just traveling and all I need to bring with me is a journal, a pen and a pencil and a blending stump. That is all I need to travel, rather than traveling, you know, with glue and collage materials and scissors and all sorts of different stuff, which I would love to bring with me. But, you know, when they're weighing your case on the airplane, you can't. So yeah, I just love the simplicity of Zentangle. All right. And Mary says that was easy to understand. Thank you. You're very welcome. Let me just, if you want any more information about Zentangle, this is a great place to go, zentangle.com. You can find a teacher that is local to you if you'd like to take an in-person class, because they are really fun to do in person. And if you want to stay in touch with us, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button so you won't know when the next video is. Well, I can tell you it's next Thursday at 12 Eastern, but please hit the subscribe. And if you liked this, please also hit the like button so that I know what kind of content you would like to see and what kind of videos you would like to see. Because if I get lots of likes, then I know that people want to see Zentangle. If not, then I can do something else. All right, I think that's pretty much everything. If you would also like to follow us on Instagram, that would be wonderful. Let me just find Instagram for you. Where are we? Where's Instagram? Here we go. So if you do happen to do this warp and weft anywhere in your journals, feel free to tag us on Instagram, vintagepagedesigns.com, and we can take a look at your work. All right, my friends, have a wonderful week. Enjoy doing a little bit of Zentangle, especially if you're having a cold and snowy day like we are here today. And I will see you next week, Thursday at noon. Take care.